was that noise?
Kid-sized backpack.
Yo!
The forest can be a peaceful place until it isn't. Hidden among the trees, far away from city noise, people often stumble into moments they can't fully explain. Moments that leave them questioning what's really out there. Today's compilation brings together some of the most unsettling encounters ever captured by people who were simply hiking, exploring, hunting, or filming their daily adventures. Number 1. Gunshots in the backwoods. The hunting public is a channel built around slow mornings in tree stands, long hikes through brush, and the quiet patience that comes with tracking wildlife. Their content is usually peaceful, like hunters whispering and leaves drifting. Their cameras catch the calm rhythm of the woods. In this particular episode from September 25th, 2022, nothing suggested anything different. No animals are harmed in this story, but something far more disturbing unfolded in the trees that day.
Kind of looks like there's a fly or something in there.
Good for him.
He's gone.
Little friend.
Just out here living, you know?
Livin.
Just kind
The older you do get, people are going to try to tell you what to do. You just got to keep living, man.
Livin.
Yep, Wooderson said that.
Nick and Ted set out early before sunrise, hoping to beat the crowds and settle into a silent spot. They reached their chosen ridge, waited for hours, and saw nothing. So later that afternoon, they decided to move deeper into a remote area. They hiked nearly 1.5 miles into the woods. They followed a ridge that showed clear signs of deer activity. There were fresh scrapes and bare earth, and that is exactly what they were looking for.
Alright, so me and Dad are set up. We ended up getting almost 1.5 miles back in here. We were walking this ridge top like we were talking about. It ended up being 3 super fresh scrapes. I mean, they're just like completely pawed down. No leaves sitting on them or nothing. So we jumped up in a tree. Pretty dang high up in a tree. Yeah, real high. And we're actually like directly above one of the scrapes.
They climbed high into a tree directly above one of the scrapes and began their afternoon sit. They were expecting a slow, uneventful evening in the backcountry. What they got instead was a moment that neither of them would ever forget. The woods were calm at first, with birds chirping and sun filtering through the branches. Then, without warning, a man's scream echoed through that stillness. It was raw, emotional, and close enough. They both just froze. At first, it sounded like someone venting their anger, maybe shouting at a friend, or maybe yelling into the trees out of frustration. Hunters hear strange outbursts from time to time. It was not unheard of, but this was different. The screaming escalated with time. It was full of rage where words twisted by emotion. Then a gunshot cracked through the trees. It was sharp and sudden, followed by silence so heavy it felt so unnatural.
I mean, there ain't nothing out here.
Moments later, another burst of noise erupted. It was like gravel spinning and tires skidding. It was like something slamming against something else. Just like that, the chaos rolled through the woods and bounced across the ridge where Nick and Ted were finding some good time. Before they had time to process the sounds, another shot blasted through the trees. This one was louder and deeper, like a distinct echo of a rifle. The pattern didn't feel like target practice. It didn't feel like hunting. It didn't feel like anything safe or controlled. Both of them sat near the tree, listening to something unfold that felt almost unreal. The yelling continued, each word carrying the sharp edge of an argument and the weight of emotions. That rage didn't fade. Instead, it grew, turning into what could only be described as insane screams. Not just anger, not just frustration, but something darker. Between each scream came more gunshots. Not one or two, dozens of them.
That last gunshot, it sounded like a truck revving up or something, like in gravel, throwing gravel or something. And then that gunshot was like, that one sounded like a rifle. That last one, the other one sounded like a handgun. That last one, like,
You could make out a few things they were saying. It wasn't good.
things we won't repeat on here. But it was like blood-curdling screaming. I've never witnessed anybody screaming like that. Something not good's going on.
They were rapid and unpredictable, some echoing like handguns and others powerful enough to shake the branches around them. Then, as suddenly as it started, the forest fell silent. No leaves were rustling. There were no footsteps. Just an empty, unnatural silence started to surround them. Nick and Ted stayed frozen, processing the fact that whatever had just happened was close enough that if they had chosen a slightly different path, they might have witnessed it with their own eyes, and maybe been caught in the middle of it. They didn't wait around to find out. They climbed down, packed up, and made their way out of the woods as fast as their legs could move. They carried a heavy mix of fear and disbelief on the way back. By the time they reached cell service, the shock was still lingering in their mind.
Imagine if we would have ended up orbing them on it. How close we would be to that.
We might have been able to see it. That's terrifying.
That is wicked.
Well, hopefully nobody got shot, but sure sounded like somebody did.
Sounds like somebody might have got killed over there.
They contacted the local authorities and reported everything. They talked about the screams, the number of shots, the sudden engine noises, the chilling silence that followed. They even provided map pins showing exactly where they were and where the sounds seemed to originate. It was the kind of report that could be anything from a confrontation gone wrong to a tragic accident to something even worse.
I've heard some stuff that I feel needs to be reported to the police department. I was hunting, me and a buddy were hunting, and at about 6:45, we heard gunshots, which is not uncommon. But then for 30 minutes straight or so, there was lots of screaming and just people, obscenities, and it sounded like something really bad was going on over there. And there was 20 or more gunshots ended up happening. And then I could hear vehicles taking off and coming to a halt. And we didn't know what to do, and we had no service. So we're trying to report and see if anything had been reported about there. I have pins dropped on a map about how far we were from where we think this was occurring.
Days passed and they waited to hear if police had found anything, a body or shell casings, maybe a vehicle, or at least some evidence of a fight. But the updates never came. Number 2, the Silent Watcher of Sutter Fell. Black Crag, known for his calm and beautifully shot hiking videos. He has always been drawn to remote landscapes, places untouched, quiet, and far removed from the rest of the world. His channel captures these peaceful escapes, and viewers are fans for his soothing walks in those scenic views, and the simple joy of watching him and his loyal dog Finn explore the wild. But on this particular trip to Sutter Fell in the Lake District, The beauty he expected turned into something far more chilling.
The year is 1735 and a local man spies what he believes to be a gigantic army marching across the ridge of a nearby hill. This procession goes on most of the night, and the following morning he goes up to the hill and finds absolutely no trace of an army whatsoever. No footprints, no hoofprints. 2 years later, on Midsummer's Eve, several other people see exactly the same thing, a gigantic army marching across the ridge. They then proceed to tell other locals about what they saw that night, and nobody believes them. Fast forward 10 years to 1745 and 26 people witness an enormous army marching across the ridge of this same hill. And again, this went on all night, and the ranks were 5 men deep. And these 26 people that witnessed this army marching along the ridge of Sutterfell were deemed sober and respected. Today is Midsummer's Eve, and this is Sutterfell. It's also our room for the night.
Sutterfell itself carries a strange history. It is a place with centuries-old legends. That includes one of the most bizarre stories ever recorded in the region. It is the sighting of an enormous phantom army marching along the ridge. It was Midsummer's Eve when Black Crag returned to Sutterfell, hoping to capture something unusual on camera. Even if he was not a full believer in ghostly armies, he had enough curiosity to spend the night on the ridge where so many before him claimed to witness the impossible. Maybe it was just his urge to prove them wrong. He set up his tent, settled in with Finn, and enjoyed the early evening. Wind was rolling across the hillside, with warm light fading behind the surrounding peaks. There was this quiet solitude that makes wild camping so therapeutic for him. After some time relaxing, he decided to walk along the ridge as darkness slowly closed in around the hills. He spoke about his skepticism, admitting he believed in strange events to some extent, but not necessarily in ghosts. Even then, he remained open-minded, and he knew that old stories had persisted for a reason.
Now, I have to confess that I am not a massive believer of ghosts. I mean, part of me does believe in the supernatural to some extent, or certainly unexplained things that can happen. I've had a few weird things happen in my life that to this day I still can't explain. But ghosts, I don't know. All right, it's 8:30 and I thought I'd have a little wander along the hill ridge line. There's the tent there, obviously a little cairn as well. So the sun, yeah, it's not far off the drop behind that hill now, and it has dropped a little bit in temperature. This coat is a little bit overkill. Why are you attacking me? You're supposed to be attacking a ghost army or something.
As the sun went down behind the hills, temperature started to drop sharply. Slowly, the ridge emptied into shadow. Black Crag kept moving, scanning the hillside for anything out of place, like any formation or any sign of movement. But the ridge was silent, with no shapes appearing against the sky. There were no lines of figures, just the usual night sounds carried on the wind. After nearly an hour of exploring and seeing nothing, he switched his camera into night vision. The world around him shifted into eerie green tones. It sharpened the grass and stones, but kept everything else as silhouettes. Finn was accompanying him everywhere. The hillside felt empty for both of them, as if the legends were nothing more than folklore carried through generations.
"10:20, still no sign, nothing." And it's getting quite dark now. Moon's up, we can't see it, we can't even see me. The moon's up, one of the planets is up, I don't know what that is, it might be Venus perhaps. I've switched to night vision mode. Got the infrared on, and I probably look very, very strange, but I can't see anything now. It's kind of weird looking probably in this. There's still quite a bit of light in the sky there, but in terms of on the ground, it's very dark. You can see Finn though. Yeah, so...
Eventually, he turned back toward his tent. At first, it looked exactly as he had left it, small, still and lit by the glow of the moon. Then, only a few steps closer, a shape stood beside it. It was tall, still, and motionless. For a split second, it resembled a man, like a figure that should not have been there. Black Crag just froze. Every instinct in his body reacted at once. His skin spiked and the hair on his arms lifted. His chest tightened with the sudden rush of adrenaline.
I've not seen anything. I've not seen a single, not even a single soldier. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's okay. I think I'm going to head back to the tent now and settle down, get a little bit of kip, hopefully not get woken up in the night. I think it's going to be a very early start in the morning because it's going to get very light soon. Oh, not long at all. What the hell? There's a bloke stood next to my tent. What the That has absolutely scared the out of me. I'm not kidding you. I was walking down there, coming back towards the tent, talking to you guys. I'm telling you right now, there was somebody stood right here. Oh, I'm not kidding you, the hairs on my arms are stood up. My skin is crawling. Right there. Finn's just oblivious to me. Right, there's no way I'm staying here tonight.
The shape stood exactly where he was planning to sleep. It positioned too naturally, too upright, too human to be mistaken for shadows. It was as if someone had been silently waiting in the darkness for his return. He steadied his camera, turned toward the tent, and continued walking, only to arrive at an empty camp. There was no movement in the grass and no footprints, nothing out of place. Finn, staying close, didn't react at all, but Black Crag's body remained tense, shaken by what he believed he had seen. Rational explanations were not going well with instinct.
We're in the tent. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the hell I saw then. I don't know whether I saw. Maybe it might have been my imagination now. Honestly, I don't know. But flipping heck, that really spooked me. Really spooked me. We're just gonna try and get a bit of kip and see how we get on. Finn's down.
Number 3. The 7-year silence beneath the water. On January 4th, 2024, a mystery that haunted Sumter, South Carolina for 7 long years finally came to an end. It was the case of Tommy Briley, a man who vanished in 2017 after leaving Brewer's Bar and Grill along with his silver BMW 325i. His disappearance puzzled investigators, devastated his family, and left the community suspended in uncertainty and fear. Adam is a YouTuber known for his relentless search efforts, using diving and underwater technology to recover lost objects, vehicles, and missing persons. Over the years, he has helped solve dozens of cases across the country. Tommy's disappearance lingered in his mind as one of the most challenging ones. The fact that both man and car vanished without leaving a trace strongly suggested a waterway incident. Maybe a crash, a slip, or something no one ever witnessed.
For Tommy, because he just basically vanished after leaving a Brewer's Bar and Grill in downtown Sumter, which has since closed by now. They had a lot of issues there, apparently fighting, and I've heard a lot of rumors about this bar. But he was out with his coworkers, having a good time. He left at like 2 a.m., vanished. He only had like a 15-minute drive back to his house, but neither him or his car has been seen since. So me and Jason, we've been checking so many places over the past few years for Tommy. Just all the signs to us point, when a car goes missing, you're in the woods or the water somewhere. There's a lot of woods, but by this time, usually hunters or somebody would have seen him if it was obvious. There's not a ton of water. There's a lot of little spots, and we're just, continuing to search. And you've been out here the past few days looking, right?
Yeah, I was here Saturday. It looks like it could be a car. It's a car-shaped object. Out towards this way. I don't know if it came around that curve here.
The location seemed insignificant at first glance because it had shallow edges, thick mud, and overgrowth lining the banks. But something about the angle of the road stuck with him. A fast turn, a late hour, and one moment of carelessness could send a car straight off the bend and into the dark water below. This time, equipped with refined sonar equipment, Jason detected a car-shaped mass beneath the surface. He immediately called Adam. When Adam arrived, he launched his underwater drone into the water, its camera cutting through the deep depths until the shape slowly came into view.
I have my drone in the water. Got it set up on the app so you can see on the screen. We're gonna send her down and see what this object is. Let's go down. That's a car. I think so, dude. Wait a second. Sure as hell looks like one to me. It looks silver too. Dude. No way. It's gotta be him. A silver car right down. This is the first place you checked?
This is the first place I checked, but all I had was a freaking radio speaker magnet to check right over there.
We didn't even, I mean, it's so small we couldn't even run the sonar boat.
Right.
I just threw the magnet in and it's stuck right away. We don't know yet.
Yeah, let's...
But we have a silver vehicle right now. Window slightly cracked down.
This is not a spot somebody would dump something either. Somebody was moving fast to get over there.
Does that look like the right?
I don't know, I can't tell.
Is it a four-door?
That looks like a four-door.
that
Yeah,
what-
his car is a four-door though, wasn't it? The window's down, right? That's the driver's side window.
I mean, for this to get here though.
He had been moving.
What emerged from the sediment was unmistakable. It was a vehicle, silver in color, partially sunken into the mud, with its windows slightly open. The position didn't resemble a dumped car. Instead, it looked like a vehicle that had left the road at high speed and plunged directly into the water. The front grille was partially buried, matching the frame of a BMW. Every detail pointed toward the possibility that the 7-year mystery was lying right there. There was only a short distance from the road Tommy should have taken home. The discovery was chilling. This was the first location Adam had checked years earlier, but with only a simple magnet at the time, he couldn't confirm anything. The waterway was too tight for a sonar boat back then, too murky for diving without evidence. The car had been hidden just out of reach and just out of sight. But now, as the drone found the sunken vehicle, the truth was undeniable. The authorities were contacted immediately, and the next day, divers and recovery teams arrived and carefully lifted the vehicle from the water. Mud poured from the windows as the silver frame broke the surface for the first time in 7 years. Inside, investigators discovered human remains that were later confirmed to belong to Tommy Briley.
You're not gonna be able to tell anything. Go up. See,
not trying
there's
to-
usually a logo right there at the top where the two grill pieces come together.
That's it. That's this BMW.
We found Tommy. I bet. That's got to be Tommy.
Tommy.
That's got to be Tommy.
Dude.
Dude.
This case.
This is exactly where I want. The first place I looked was right here, but like I said, all I had was a rinky-dink magnet to throw in right here. Who knew he was going to make it all the way over here?
We probably checked every pond in Sumter.
Sure.
Every body of water, every boat ramp.
You want
This
to
is on
dive?
the path home, right? I mean,
This is this path
the
home.
curve.
That curve right there, either going too fast. He had to have been going too fast to wind up all the way over here.
Okay, let me try it. I don't want to say 100%, but we know it's a silver BMW. Let me try to find a tag.
The case was finally solved. After nearly a decade of uncertainty, the Briley family received the closure they desperately needed. The community, too, found relief in understanding that Tommy had not vanished mysteriously or met with some darkness in the shadows of the night. He had simply lost control on a dangerous curve and slipped into the water, and nobody noticed it. Adam and Jason's persistence had changed everything. Their determination transformed a cold case into a solved one that brought peace to a family who had waited far too long for answers. Adam continues to search for others still missing, driven by the belief that every person deserves to be found and every family deserves closure. And in a world where so many cases go forgotten, his work remains a powerful reminder that even after years of silence, the truth can still rise from the depths. Number 4. The discovery at the overgrown ruins. Luca had explored enough abandoned places across Brazil to know when a location felt wrong. He and his friend had wandered through decaying farmhouses, abandoned factories, and forgotten estates swallowed by vines and humidity. Some places felt heavy while others were too quiet, but none had ever prepared them for what they would discover on that afternoon. Their target was an old, decaying property sitting on the edge of a forest. It was a place that once served some unknown purpose. It was nearly consumed by plants, as if nature had spent years trying to erase it from memory. Locals barely spoke about it now, and those who did usually never talk about its darker side. Luca, of course, saw that as an invitation. The moment they stepped out of the car, vines welcomed them. The walls were hidden behind layers of green, and the pathways were so overgrown. It was atmospheric, certainly, but nothing out of the ordinary for an urban explorer. But that sense of calm ended the moment they attempted to exit through another route on the far side of the building. Near the outer walls, the vegetation grew even thicker. They had to push aside layers of vines and branches just to make progress, and the ground beneath them felt uneven. As they approached an opening where the outside light was passing through, something on the ground caught their attention. At first, it seemed like a mound of debris with branches, old fabric, maybe part of the collapsed wall. There was a plastic tarp partially draped across the entrance. Few items like worn clothing, a torn bag were scattered on the floor. Those were the things that suggested someone had once occupied the area. But something about it felt off. They froze. Explorers know when debris is just debris. This was not that. A moment of disbelief passed between them. The world seemed to go quiet, and they couldn't hear any sound except their own breathing. Even without uncovering anything further, they knew what they had found. The tarp's position and the belongings surrounding it suggested someone had once taken shelter inside the abandoned building. But the stillness, the state of the items, and the overall condition of the debris left no doubt that whoever had been there had died long before Luca and his friend arrived. There was no question about what they had to do. They backed away and went back somewhere safe to avoid disturbing anything. Once outside, they immediately contacted the police and reported what they had discovered. Their voices were still unsteady, and the shock of the moment lingering in every word. Drop your theories, your thoughts, and even your own stories in the comments. And if you love exploring the strange and unexplained, check out the other compilations waiting for you. Encounters, disappearances, trail cam mysteries, all of it is lined up and ready. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you've ever witnessed anything you still can't explain.